So I'm going to start off with the pastry, Jack, and it's basically a sweet pastry. If you can dice the butter for me, 120 grams.
Yep.
It's basically a sweet pastry, but with cocoa powder in the pastry.
Yum.
So it makes it really nice and just follows the chocolate theme the whole way through. I've just got some measured flour here, 200 grams, and you just want to use a normal plane for this. But sieve it. I know it's one of those stages that, you know, necessarily you think you can skip, but really does make a difference to your pastry.
And same with your butter, small little pieces?
Yes, please. And I'm going to do the same with the cocoa as well. So it's one of the reasons why there's not as much flour in this recipe as usual, because the cocoa acts almost as a flour as well.
It binds it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a binding agent.
So that's a raw cocoa powder.
Yes, it is.
Which is very rich and quite bitter.
Yeah, and I want the bitterness in this because I don't want an overly sweet pastry. You know, I want it to be nice and almost savoury.
Yeah,
and then the sweetness to come from the layers on top. So I've just added in the icing sugar into that now as well. And we're just gonna literally bring that together. And then we can start adding in our butter until it almost forms that sort of breadcrumb consistency.
Yeah.
Once it forms that breadcrumb consistency, we'll start to go in with our wet ingredients, which is the egg and the water.
Lovely.
You can see how nicely that's come together. Beautiful chocolate colour.
It's deliciously rich. You can smell the cacao
the
from
smell,
the
the
already.
aroma. Yeah. That cacao makes such a difference to it. And I just love it. For me, you know, chocolate tart, I want those beautiful layers of chocolate all the way through. So we're gonna rest the pastry now. It's really important to rest it at least for 20 minutes or so, because you'll find it's quite wet. Well, not wet, but sticky.
Tacky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it resting in the fridge will be super important just for those proteins to come back together. So I'm gonna cover that now in Glad wrap, put it in the fridge to rest for 20 minutes, and then we can get it out and blind bake our pastry. All right, we've had our pastry nicely in the fridge for about 20 minutes. You can see straight away, it's much firmer.
It is.
Like, give that a touch now, Jack.
Yeah, it's like Play-Doh.
So now you just want to roll it out, and you can do it if it's nice and firm. You can do it straight onto your board and then just transfer it over. Can you grease the tin for me as well, please?
Sure can.
And be generous.
With the butter.
Generous with the butter. I know it's not like
Nothing
me.
less from you. You and Tim. Don't hold back, Jack and Joe. Just rip right in.
Well, you got to give the butter a bit of love. And a lot of people making the mistake of adding too much flour to the bench, you know, so it makes it a lot less, well, a lot less short, a lot less yum. You know, it dries it out quite a bit.
Is that
flour
enough
that's
butter?
in the recipe, that's beautiful. Well, actually, just throw in another knob. I'm joking. Your face. And we just roll it out over that.
I like your rolling pin trick.
Yeah, my mum taught me that one.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Mum. I thought that was a learnt in France with the best pastry chefs kind of trick, but it's actually just
Nah, good
just
old mum. Some of my best lessons in the kitchen are from mum. Okay.
Now, for a novice pastry person, chef, cook at home, what are your best tips for pressing the pastry into the pastry tin and leaving enough or cutting it? How do you go about it?
Look, so I would usually rest this now again in the fridge just for 10 minutes or so, just so the pastry's got a time to relax into it, and then I would roll it off. Okay. I'm just gonna roll this off now, okay? Leave it a little bit of an overhang and then just go for it. I always make sure I tuck it in really nicely around the sides first. And then that just helps make sure you've got at least the height right before you do then trim it off.
Gotcha.
And then just before we line it with the baking beans, just give it a few little pricks with your fork just to stop the pastry from rising.
Gotcha.
Now help keep it nice and flat with the baking beans. I've scrunched up my baking paper just so it really sits nicely and shapes to the pastry. And then I'm just using some rice here, guys. You can use baking beans. If you use rice or lentils or beans, anything you've got, reuse it. You don't have to do fresh every time. Keep it, store it in your pantry. I'm gonna pop this in the oven now, 160 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes with the beans in. Take the beans out. Gonna cook it for probably another 3 to 5 minutes, just till we get a nice crisp bottom. So guys, while the pastry's in the oven, we're getting the mousse ready for the filling. Jack's just been melting some gorgeous dark chocolate down over some hot water. That's coming off now. I've just started by whipping some egg whites. Egg whites and caster sugar. That's all this is. And now we're gonna add the melted chocolate to the egg whites and just gently fold it through. You want the chocolate to cool down just slightly, not so it's so hot. You don't want it cold either though, Jack.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
What's happening with the cream?
If you can whip that for me, please.
Okay, it's a day of whipping.
It's a day of whipping.
Bicycle
It really
alert.
is a day of whipping.
And now what percentage of cocoa in your chocolate have you used? Because I'd go for a pretty bitter one myself.
I'm using a 70%. That's why you've got a really nice, dark, deep colour in this chocolate.
Yeah.
I'm just going to speed up this up from cooling down just by taking it out of the hot bowl. Always in a rush in a kitchen, Jack.
Never. What's rushed
Well,
about being in a kitchen?
In a professional kitchen, I should say. When I'm at work, when I'm doing the day job.
Oh, I've got 3 kids. I'm always in the kitchen at home, trust me. Things have got to happen fast.
I feel more pressure with my kids than I do at work.
Definitely.
All right. I'm just going to literally pour this in now. I'm just going to do a little bit at a time.
It's a really gentle process, isn't it?
It is. Do you know what? It's so gentle. Do you want to do the folding?
Oh, thanks. Love the marbling as you pour it in. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Pastry really is an art, isn't it?
It is, and it
different
requires patience.
Yes.
It's why my pastry career was very short-lived in professional kitchens.
No. Shh. You want me to tell people that?
No, do you know what? I absolutely loved it because I used to work under Claire Smith, you know, at Royal Hospital Road. But it was so, you just needed a level of patience I didn't have at such a young age.
Yeah.
And I did pastry for about 6 months, learned a huge amount, such a level of respect for it. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, yeah.
I needed the heat and the hustle and bustle of sauce section and, you know, cooking my proteins. That's what I love the most. Okay, we're now gonna just finish folding that through.
Yeah.
Add in our whipped cream that you just done as well. Fold that through. Take the tart out. Once that's chilled, we can top it up and finish it off.
Beauty.
Out the fridge, and now to garnish this. You could garnish it in different ways. I'm just gonna grate some chocolate over it. Jack, if you can peel some white chocolate for me, just for the contrast.
Now this would horrify you, but if I was to make a chocolate mousse tart, my filling would probably be avocado, maple, and cacao, vanilla, and some cinnamon. Thoughts?
Really?
Your face probably says it all.
No, do you know what? But does it scream chocolate to me? No. Does it scream indulgence? No. But it's you, Jack, so I know it would be tasty.
Okay, cool.
I know it would be tasty.
I'll make it for you another day.
Please.
Can I just go straight on to the
It was
tart?
so much easier.
Yeah. It's like melting in my hand.
Look at that. For me, when you do like a dish like this, a dessert like this, it's to be a bit of a showstopper, right? So make sure you choose a nice plate to serve it on as well. Something that's, you know, really gonna do it justice. I'm just gonna take a slice out of this now.
It's almost too beautiful to cut.
Almost.
Almost.
I'm using a hot knife just to get through that chocolate nice and cleanly. And I'm going to generous slice, Jack.
Well, we've got to share it, so that's always a tricky one.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful. You
Just
can see
layers of the chocolate.
and you can see the shortness in the pastry.
Yes, yeah, which is so important. Chocolate on chocolate on chocolate. It's exactly what I promised you. Let's tuck in.
Let's do it. Now, this would go well with coffee.
Oh, absolutely.
So I've prepared one for you.
Oh, look at you. Thank you.
My-
Love an espresso
my
with
pleasure.
chocolate. You first.
Oh, really?
Of course.
Okay. I've chosen spoons. Probably should have done forks, hey? Because now it's the awkward pickup.
Nah, it's all good.
That's spectacular.
It's just is smooth, almost silky. Rich, deep, dark chocolate flavours. Not overly sweet, right?
No, not overly sweet. It's got a nice bitterness from the actual pastry.
Yeah.
And then that delicious light mousse in the middle is just exquisite. I feel like we need Sade playing in the background, like Smooth Operator or something, because that's exactly what that chocolate tart is. It's smooth, it's silky, it's delicious.
Oh,
just sublime.
There you go, guys. My chocolate treat to you.
Delish.